Yujiro Hanma, the face of Black Air Force activity. I, as the Hokage of the Mellow Mafia, declare that the reign of the word Black Air Force activity has ended. I'm now replacing the word Black Air Force energy in activity with the word Yujiro Hanma energy or activity. This is the origin spot, so if anybody be like, why do you use that word? Just be like, DTO. To keep it short, so I don't gotta give y'all like a lecture, just type in Yujiro Hanma. Like, the man background speak for itself. Hold on, let me get my calculator out on you niggas real quick. Oh, snap! Found it. Yujiro Hanma energy is basically Black Air Force energy times a million. Ah, yes, I can't wait for the day Baki becomes like his father. I'm getting off subject. Anywho, now I don't tell other people's stories because I wasn't physically there, so this might be the first and last video you ever will see of me telling other people's stories. The whole reason I'm doing this is because my grandma on my mom's side wanted me to tell one of her stories from her past for her birthday today, so I'm gonna carry out my grandma's wish. But let me tell y'all something before we start. I always knew my grandma had Black Air Force energy when my mom was growing up because my mama would tell me stories. But my nigga, I didn't know her power level was this high. Like, my grandma gangster. Nigga, who you think my mama got it from? Now, like I said, I wasn't physically there, so I decided a couple days ago to leave my crib and drive back down to my parents' house and got a little bit of help from my mama. So instead of me telling the story like I usually do in videos, I'ma let my mama tell it and I'll just animate. She tossed me the lob, I'ma dunk it in. All right, ma, do your thing.
Fast forward to junior high school. PE teacher who's a butthole, for some reason, magically lost my test where I had the highest score in the class and gave me an F in PE. So of course, I go in there to try to resolve the problem myself. My mom was always teaching me grown woman business. You talk to them teachers yourself, then you tell me what happened. So I go and talk to Coach Pat. Coach Pat, she's like, you didn't turn in a test. What you talking about I ain't turned in no test? So I get to going off. What you mean I ain't turning in no test? I got the highest score in the class. You just gave me my papers back last week. You ain't turning no test. Now get out of my office. You gonna be hearing from my mama. I walk on around the street because the gym was literally around the street from your grandmama. Still is. And I'm sitting there stewing, waiting for my mama to come home from work. She get home from work, she tired, she frustrated because she been on her feet all day. And I guess she said, where your report card at? And I'm like, I got it right here, mama. And then she's like, oh, I know you got all A's. Just sign my name. I'm like, I didn't get all A's this time. What you mean you didn't get all A's? Your daddy gonna be mad at you. Coach Johnson gave me an F and P, a F and P. All kinds of cuss words. It's one of the, what the fish? Cheerios and cheese, you know. And so, and I was like, she told me I ain't take no test. Then how you flunk PE? Mom, I'm telling you, I didn't flunk PE. She gave me an F on a test that I made a 96 on. I had the highest score in the class. So she made me tell her what happened about the conversation. Next day, your grandmama came home early. She rolled up to the school with her Crown Royal bag because your granddaddy kept his 22 in his Crown Royal bag. Purple and gold. Crown Royal. And that's where everybody, all black folks get their guns in the Crown Royal bag. So she slips it on in her pocketbook. See, there's a difference between a purse and a pocketbook. She slip it into her pocketbook, and we walk on over to the school. She meet up with Coach Pat. She says, Coach Johnson, I need to talk to you. She looks up at my mama, because she was sitting at her desk. I am busy. And my mama said, I need to talk to you. Well, I guess I have some time. What can I do for you? And so she gets to asking questions about test score. Why she got this F. I'm standing there watching it. So Coach Johnson raises up. Now she taller than my mama. She a big lady. She still big. She raised up on my mama, who ain't but an inch taller than me now. Coach Pat over both of us. We standing there, my mama clutching her pocketbook, me standing next to my mama like this, and Coach Johnson rose up and she said, ma'am, your daughter got an F because she failed to turn in a test. Now everybody took that test, but she's the only one that doesn't have a test. And that's what my mama said. It says she made a 96, she made a 96. And you gonna find her test or you gonna have problems with me. So of course Coach Johnson is like, I don't want no trouble, blah, blah, blah. My mother gets to cussing her all the way out, top to bottom. I chop your big fat black, black. I'll put 2 bullets in your black. Coach Johnson, you ain't got no time for violence. You ain't gonna cheat my daughter out of her. My mom said, we gonna wait. Have a seat. Yes, ma'am. I sit down and she said, we gonna wait till you find that test. We ain't leaving till you find it. How car by Coach Johnson went in her office. About 5 minutes later, guess what she come out with? A test with a big old 96A circled on it. I said, that's the one, Mama. She said, you gonna fix my baby's dream. And I want a brand new report card. And it wasn't back in the day where you put everything in the computer and you could just hop on there and hit enter and it changed all your grades. Oh, no. It was a process. You had to handwrite it. You had to you had to explain why the test score was being changed. Then you had to get it approved by the principal, have a whole new hard copy issued. All the teachers had to be put on alert. My mama was not playing the trombone with that lady at all.
There comes a time in almost every man's life where they participate in simp activity. You get erect over a girl, fall in love, or what you think is love, then you do stupid stuff. But wait, there's more. The same thing goes for my female viewers out there towards the men you fall in love with. But we're gonna focus on the fellas right now. Some live and learn, the people that were betas and now alphas, and some don't. The betas that are still betas to this day because they don't want to change. Believe it or not, in the times we live in now, there's a lot of people out there that don't have a clear understanding of what a simp really is and just be throwing the word out there all incorrectly just for the hype. I think this is just a toxic thing, but if you show even the slightest bit of chivalry, simp! I just want to point out there's nothing wrong with chivalry, but if you go overboard, fellas, if you know, you know. Now understand, I'm a nice guy at heart, but don't get it twisted, screwed, and tightened. There's two sides of me, the WAP igniter and the gentle warrior. These two sides developed because I've had a lot of alpha moments, big dog status, and a lot of simp moments, poodle status. But the alpha moments came from living and learning from the beta moments. And over time, I started to master the art of the alpha, aka the masculine frame. So that's why I'm gonna tell y'all about probably one of the most embarrassing simp moments I've ever had. I might even make a series on it, I don't know. To start off, I remember back at the start of sophomore year of college, I met this one scrumptious shorty, we're gonna call her, let's just throw a name up. Tyja. Yeah, that's a good name. Man, this girl was fine as apple wine. Hey, she wasn't the ripest apple in the tree, but I definitely picked her. See, I really liked ED, past tense, this shorty, ever since the day I met her, and she never knew that until the day we stopped talking a year later. And I ain't afraid to say it, I kept it low key, but the whole time I knew her, I turned off my alpha energy and simped for her. I don't know why. That was the worst mistake I made that year, because I'm not supposed to be out here simping for girls. I'm supposed to be out here looking for the cat. I'm a coochie scout. I'm just playing. I'm supposed to be out here focusing on myself. But alas, in the past, the coochie triumph. It got so bad to the point where whenever we'd have conversations, in my mind, I'd be like, why are you still talking and not in our living room with our two kids watching anime? And that ain't even a cherry on top, because whenever we'd hang out and chill, I'd be throwing subliminal hints at her through my body language, basically screaming, hey, I like you. Now, you know that's some simp energy when you're struggling to tell a girl how you feel when you should have been straightforward with her. Like, this ain't high school, nigga. A woman wants a man that knows what he wants and ain't a coward about it. What do you want from me? Get that bread, get that head, then leave. Peace out. Now, this one is probably one simp level below buying OnlyFans, but it is what it is. Whenever I'd see her, I'd get way too excited, drop everything I'd be doing, and go talk to her, even if it was just a hey. Now that is simping on a different level and will not be tolerated now. Like, is you that thirsty, my nigga? Somebody get this man some agua. We got Aquafina and Fiji. Ugh. Where's Toonsies when you need them? I'm so glad I'm not like that anymore. I think I need to make a story on my alpha moments ASAP. Now, let me tell y'all about the moment that made me never simp again. So it was this one day I'm sitting in a Chick-fil-A line in the main building of our college, about hungry a little bit. I order my food, wait like 10 minutes to get my delicacies in my drink, put the straw on my tongue like it's a toothpick, then I skedaddle. I pull up to the exit right beside the game room, and keep in mind, the game room walls are see-through glass. So as people play games, you can see everybody outside walking to and fro wherever they decide to go. Bars, nigga. And as I'm walking towards the exit, which was also see-through glass, well, I see, yep, Tyja walking outside beside the game room, making her way to the cafeteria. And like I said, at the time, I turned off my alpha energy that year for whatever reason, I don't remember. And also, like I said, I get excited every time I see her. So the first thing on my mind was not to catch her some other time and mind my own business. It was to run with a straw in my mouth to my car, to catch up to her, to say hi. Oh, brother, this guy's a simp! Now, what I'm about to tell y'all is short nigga problems and should never be repeated. Ever. Without thinking, I run towards my car to the driver door. And keep in mind, I'm 5'6", so my mouth is parallel to the door. And as soon as I open the door, bruh, I opened the door so fast that the door ran into the straw that was currently in my mouth, pushing the straw into the back of my throat, making the biggest cut to my flesh in the back of my throat. And bruh, when I tell you, every time I tried to talk, it felt like 1,000 knives cutting my vocal cords at sonic speed. It's like God was trying to teach me a big lesson that day to stop simping at top tier level. Cause after that, guess what I stopped doing? I had to sit there for an entire day sounding like a fish out of water. My friends would ask me what happened and I'd have to text them to talk cause I couldn't speak. That was a pain I never felt before. However, if you've been on my channel for a while, you know I made a video called High as a Kite. In that story, I told y'all about the first time I was introduced to edibles. And I said in that video that, believe it or not, depending on the strand, edibles healed a lot of my wounds whenever I take them. And guess what? This was one of those times. Now again, I don't condone doing drugs. I'm just telling you about my experiences with them, which at times were horrible and sometimes good. But don't do them. I ain't no doctor. I'm just assuming it heals wounds because it healed my wound at the time. Don't know how and don't care. So after suffering literal hours with this injury, I took the edible, and when it kicked in, the area where my cut wound was went numb and it kept tingling like it was healing itself or something. And luckily, after going to sleep and waking up like a couple hours later, I could talk again. Moral of the story, grow a pair and stop simping. Thank you for your time. Almost every school on the planet has had some type of trend occur that either died out, lived on, or was hanging on for dear life for a long time until a burnout. Some of mine growing up were Silly Bands, Beyblades, Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Digimon, and Bakugan. Now, I don't know about some of you elementary school kids now, but when I was in elementary, these trends were pretty big deals, you know what I'm saying? No joke. The school I went to, they treated these trends like gangs, bruh. They moved in groups. Like, Bakugan came late in the game, so in the beginning, you were either a Pokemon kid, the people that kept a Game Boy on deck, cause when it came to catching them all, they ain't play no games, boy. Hey, cuz, word on the street is you got that Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur, listen to me, homie. I got that Charmander. 150. 150? I only got a bird on me, cuz. We can negotiate. You come to me, asking to buy a product you do not know about. 150. Take it or leave it. Tell you what, I'll up you a Jigglypuff and an Eevee for that Charmander, and I'll add on a pack of Smarties. You drive a hard bargain. Deal. But first, you're gonna have to see me outside, huh? A Yu-Gi-Oh kid, the people that kept that binder and that stack on them at all times. You would never catch a Yu-Gi-Oh kid without their deck on them. All you had to do was roll up on them and be like, your move. They get their game on, and if you wanted to win, you better play your cards right. Treesh. T-R-E.
It's time to do.
A Beyblade kid, the people that no one ever really bothered for real, but when that stadium came out, everyone was there faster than a white cop in a suburb. Digimon kids were like the same as Pokemon kids, but less played and more watched. What irked my soul even more was the fact that the two primary groups, Yu-Gi-Oh kids and Pokemon kids, that were supposedly united were actually divided. Like, for Pokemon, it was bad. let you get caught repping a different set in the wrong hallway. You gonna end up like the fake Jordan kids. You get caught in the Johto region hallway repping a Kanto region, death. You get caught in the Hoenn region hallway repping the Sinnoh region, death. You get caught in the Unova region hallway repping the Johto region, death. At some point, just don't say nothing. For Yu-Gi-Oh, you were either a Slifer Red, Raw Yellow, or Obelisk Blue. If you were an Obelisk Blue, you were the best of the best and feared by everyone.
The fuck y'all looking at?
If you were a Raw Yellow, you weren't really feared, but niggas still didn't want smoke for real unless you were a seasoned Slifer ready to move up or an Obelisk. If you were an unseasoned Slifer, you were actually butt cheeks. These were all trends anime related that were taken seriously by 80% of my population at my school and lived on to this day. Hopefully. Now the trends that weren't anime related, like silly bands, were trends that were mad popular for a long period of time, but died out because of regulations from administrators. Let me break it down for you. Silly bands had a ranking system. To keep it short, the more silly bands you had, the more popular you were. You got more silly bands by taking them from others through silly combat. Silly combat was a process in which two individuals put their bands on a flat surface and take turns flicking each other's bands until one person's band was on top of the opposing person's band. In conclusion, taking said person's band. And this usually took somewhere around 30 seconds to a minute. So basically, gambling? Pretty much. Taking somebody's silly band was like taking somebody's chain, but without the consequences. At the time, silly bands were more popular than all of them combined. Bruh, they were so popular to the point where administrators banned them from school because people would focus on silly bands more than school itself. I saw it everywhere. Instead of eating at lunch, silly bands. Instead of playing at PE, silly bands. In the bathrooms, silly bands. In the hallways, silly bands. You talk about Pokemon kids? No. Everybody was trying to catch them all. We was up in there collecting them silly bands like it was Infinity Stones. I remember the day they first banned silly bands.
Students and faculty, if we see you with the silly band before, during, and after school, you will be written up and have them confiscated. Have a great day, and remember, go Pandas!
Bruh, can you imagine being 10, trying to walk onto a school bus and two administrators just pull up and beat you up, drag you to the office, write you up, and take your silly bands? Couldn't be me. My mama probably would have poured water into their electric box. I don't know what we did to piss him off, but when everybody heard that, niggas did not stop for nobody. Silly bands became an underground operation after that. Everybody was moving in silence trying to collect them all. You know what I'm saying? We had to think smart when collecting and moving these illegal bands after that. We couldn't keep them on our wrist anymore. We couldn't battle in classrooms. Hallways or lunchrooms were forbidden. Anywhere was forbidden in the open. So everyone went to the one place that was sanctuary to every school. The school bathrooms. Everything was going just as planned. Whenever you wanted to battle for a silly band, somebody had you walk into the bathroom, present what you got, and battle it out. The operation went by smoothly and perfectly. We were trading illegal bands left to right without getting caught for a good little minute. Until a month later when somebody in our operation ratted us out and got us all written up. The trend eventually died, and we all went back to the other trends. It be your own people, man. It be your own people. Dang, I guess the moral of this story is, whatever you do in the dark will eventually come to light. I don't know. I guess I'm finna go drown myself in some orange juice. I'll see y'all later. Follow me on the gram, subscribe, follow me on Twitch. Road to 500K, and remember, love yourself, not limit yourself. So anybody born from 2000 and back remember the term duff? As the years went by, just like the avatar before Aang, the term vanished when we used it the most. Fellas, you ever been in a situation where you walk up to a group of girls only looking to talk to the attractive one, and her designated ugly fat friend opens her gums and speaks for her before you can even get any words out, like, red light, she doesn't want you, she doesn't want you, you're dismissed. Excuse me, Jabba the Hutt, I'm gonna need you to take it down 3 notches. I get it, you don't get attention like your cute friend right here does. She has a mouth, it can do a lot of things. You dirty bastard. Like eating and talking. Never mind. Proceed. This is an AB conversation. See your way out of it. You see, in society, there's a very diverse stereotype in the female friend spectrum. Let me put y'all on game. There's the cute girl with the ugly friend, the baddie with the fat friend that always speaks for her because the baddie gets 110% of the attention, the girl that has the friend that she tells everything to, and the girl that has the aggressive friend that will be on her side regardless if she's in the right or wrong. And lastly, the baddie that tries to set her ugly friend up with a guy knowing she's gonna get curved. If you know or are one of these, comment below what you are. If you've ever been exposed to or gained a knowledge of these type of girl friendships, you should at least be aware that 9 times out of 10, you're gonna experience what I experienced. Cinco. Just got out of school, exhausted, at the crib watching TV on the couch. Hey, boy. Ma'am. I know I can't be the only one that relates to this. They stay silent until you're in their presence. Can you give me the remote? Wait, what? The remote is right next to you. Now that's what I thought in my head, but anyone with a brain knows growing up black, yelling and talking back to your parents was the last thing you wanted to do. You want to end up in a casket? Go ahead, yell at her. Be my guest. Why get the remote when I have a son that can do it for me? Right? I get back to the couch and everybody knows back then, maybe even now, as a regular kid, you don't go straight to just doing homework or irrelevant things like studying. No. You turn on that Cartoon Network consisting of Ed and Eddie, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Regular Show, Adventure Time, Chowder, Billy and Mandy, and many more. Parents, stop hating and start relating. That's just how we do things. Hey, I want to watch SpongeBob. My boy Ronnie walks in the front door unannounced. He doesn't have to knock or let anybody know he's here because that's the award given to every family friend. Now, if it were one of my other homies, we both would have got smacked with a tree. Who are you? A friend. What is your name? Daryl. Why are you here? Melo's friend. What's 9 plus 10? 19. Dev!
Devonte, listen, don't say a word, okay? Matter of fact, mute.
I know what you're about to say. You finally got rid of that third nipple.
What? No.
You finally got rid of that foot fungus.
TMI, TMI, no, TMI.
Young Don cut his dreads.
Are you drunk? Sonia invited us to Netflix and chill.
Big booty Sonia.
Yes, big booty Sonia. Ring a bell?
Okay.
What? Okay, I'm Confucius. Why are you not hype? Sonia barely pays us any attention when we talk, okay? This is a blessing.
No, she barely pays you any attention when we talk, okay? Last time I checked, she wasn't nothing special because word on the street, she gets around. All right, it ain't nothing to cut that chick off. And doesn't it seem a little odd how she barely talks to us and out of the blue randomly invites both of us to come Netflix and chillax? I thought that was a one-on-one activity.
Bruh, who cares? I stopped everything I was doing, okay? Clearly, she wants to be taken to the candy shop. I stopped everything I was doing just to come down here and spread the good message to you, sir, okay? So, are you coming or not? Because if not, then I'll just take her to the candy shop all by myself.
Look, we're not finna be out here secreting simp energy, capiche? So, of course I'm coming, what you mean? Later that night, we pull up to her house. Her parents aren't home. We knock on the door opens, and all we can smell is straight perfume and spray. It's Sonia. Instantly, my spotty senses start tingling because she had on the Easy Access tights, no bra, her hair was in a bun, and she smelled extravagant. And in my mind, I'm thinking, wait, she belongs to the streets, so there could be only two things happening in this situation. We're either about to get played like a Nintendo Switch, or she's about to ride the Polar Express, if you catch my drift. Now at this point, I'm kinda nervous. The only thing running through my head right now is get out, get out. Because I can see through the cap, Sonia. Stop the cap. You not finna have me and my homie looking like a lick, all right? I done seen too many movies where a pretty girl lures in a guy just to get robbed. It's not gonna be me. But alas, my mind's telling me no. Say it with me now. But my body's telling me yes. She lets us in, takes us to her room. Pew! She speeds off downstairs.
Stay in my room. I'll be right back. I'm just getting something to drink.
Hey, yo, Ronnie. Why does her room look like it's never been touched before? Like, literally, there's nothing in it. The bed, bland. The walls, bland. Her closet literally has nothing in it. What type of girl has a closet with 0 in it? This ain't it, Chief.
Okay, maybe this is not her room. It might be the guest room. You know, she has a bunch of close friends that are always walk around with her. Like, a lot.
I am not aware of this, compadre.
Whatever the case may be.
It is what it is.
So, this is my friend Brittany. Before we get down to business, Ronnie, I need you to toss my salad. Help find that series on Netflix you were talking about. Devonte, can you keep her busy while he helps me?
Get out of there, my brother. It is the way. Get out of there. Get to the car.
Ronnie, let me talk to you downstairs real quick. It's really important. Excuse us. See, I told you. This was a setup, and not even one of those good setups where she brings the sexy friend with her. And I thought she didn't even acknowledge your existence, bro. It sounds like she's always liked you, but always gave the attention to me so you can keep giving her attention. So, I'm gonna say this in the most respectful way I can. Brittany is not attractive in any way. I'd rather lick the rim of a gas station toilet than do anything with that behemoth. Like, bruh, I already feel disrespected for Sonya finessing us, bringing her friend in the first place. She's built like the Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters, bro. Like, literally, her rolls have rolls. I came here for the candy shop, not the bakery. Come on, man.
Listen, we've been friends since we were very young, and I've always looked out for you and been your ride or die since
3rd grade when we used to sell honey buns in the back of the school, I know.
Who was there when you got jumped by the gang of raccoons?
You.
Who was there through all your pain and heartbreak?
You.
Who was there to beat up that kid who slapped you with a pizza?
Hey, now let's not get too hasty now. You bringing back flashbacks I don't want to bring back. But you.
And lastly, who stayed solid when you got more girls than me and I got curved 30 billion times?
I mean, don't hate the player, hate the game, you know? And but you.
Exactly. Now, if you could so kindly, sir, just take one for the team. That would be much appreciated.
Dude, the door is literally right here. I have my keys right now. We can skidip and not have to go through this.
Okay, yeah, but there's a baddie up there waiting to go to the candy shop. And I'll never get this chance again. So please, bro, can you just take one for the team?
All right.
So you gonna help me too?
No. So back at school, I used to be on the football team. And you know what really grinded my gears more than the practice itself? The locker rooms before and after practice. Yes, the most toxic place in all of humanity. But why, Devonte? Because it was like prison. Once the coach let everybody get dressed or wash up in the showers and shut them doors.
Come out to play.
And that's one of the reasons why I hated locker rooms. And oh, trust me, there's more. So first off, it was like a fucking jungle every time I walked in. There was always somebody at the top of the food chain trying to devour the weakest link in the food chain, i.e. the douchebags picking on the weakest targets. You leave your locker open and they think you won't do nothing about it, get what? Took. They turn off the lights and they think you can't defend yourself, get what? Smack. If you don't, in 30 seconds to a minute, get in, do what you gotta do, and get out quickly, get what? Harass. The douchebags did everything in their power to make those 30 minutes to an hour living anarchy. But the madness doesn't stop here. Man, I remember a couple times in the locker room, bruh, this nigga AZ, you know, the little dude from this story I told y'all about, before he eventually quit for the basketball team full time, dude whipped out his cock in front of everyone, walked around and was like, if you look, you gay.
Boy, ain't no fucking
Hey,
way.
yo, what the fuck?
Boy, ain't no way.
This nigga serious?
Then right afterwards, Buddy proceeds to pull out his cheeks, walks around and was like, if you look, you gay.
Boy, ain't no fucking
Hey,
way.
yo, what the
Can't
fuck?
be right.
This nigga serious?
Yep. Sounds about Aiden Ross. Hold on. it doesn't stop here. Grab a towel, cause it's about to get slimy in here. Another thing I hated about the locker rooms was the fact that during the showers, the douchebags always came unprepared. Man, I had a nigga come up to me one time while I was opening my bottom locker talking about some, hey, you got some soap? And of course I didn't. Even if I did, you ain't getting it. Yeah, I'm selfish. So I turned my head around to tell him no, and the first thing I see in my personal space, towering over me, was his big black body.
I am disgusted.
You know how many times that happened to me, bruh? Niggas was asking me for towels, soaps, clothes, all while being booty butt naked. It got to the point where I was just like,
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
you know what made things even worse? I had beef with everybody. But why is that, Devonte? Because they all treated me like a waste of sperm despite being in the middle of the food chain. So I matched their energy, and they didn't like that. Man, I had beef with the coaches, my teammates, the support team. The equipment manager wanted to fight me because I called his assistant's BS out about her having this big attitude. Like, I don't know why the nigga wanted to fight me over the truth, over there built like a tree stump with a grass allergy. It wasn't my fault your little chihuahua had anger issues. I had them too growing up, but you don't see me foaming at the mouth anymore at everything everybody does.
Why you on my dick? Word.
Somebody say something stupid now, I just hit them with the Rise of Deception out on all platforms now, bro. I had so much beef with everybody that you would have thought I wrote the lyrics for that Playboy Cardi song. Like, it was beef I didn't even want. All I wanted to do was mind my business and go about my day being unproblematic and outspoken. But nah, I had to deal with all these lame ass, ugly ass, Crash Bandicoot body ass, goof ass people harassing me because of my social status or whatever they thought about me. But you know what? It's alright though. A little dirt don't hurt because it fertilizes a strong mind. So whenever I got the chance, I took out all my anger on the field. Somebody come get this man an ice pack. Yeah. That's a raw description of what I went through in the locker rooms back in school. If I could go back though, things would be a lot different, which would kind of be a bad thing because all of that made me who I am today. I guess that goes into the, little dirt don't hurt, you know what I'm saying? Oh! It's your boy DJ Kneecaps coming at you with the sauciest hits of all time. We coming back at you with the bangers. Coming up next on our playlist, we got your boy Lil Wristwatch with his new single called Eater on the Billboard Hot 100, sitting at number 3, right below Lil Tube Sock with his single Drop That Soap. Who's got you? We got you. Only on 97.8.9 Gems. That ain't real rap, that's garbage. All right, y'all, so I remember this one time me and my family went on vacation to the beach in Panama City, Florida. And for some reason, every time we picked a location, that was the go-to place. I don't know why, don't care. All I know is that every time we went, I had fun because something out of the ordinary would always happen. But Devonte, what happened out of the ordinary? Well, let's find out. So it all started when we got to the hotel. And my parents let me, my brother, and my sister go out into the pier by ourselves because they said we were old enough, but just look after our sister. And nigga, we was geeks. Like, have you ever been down to the pier in Panama City? You're missing out if you haven't. So we all go down to the pier doing God knows what and God knows where. And we really didn't wild out like we wanted to because my sister was with us and her presence alone put a limit on what me and my brother could do. Like, it was spring break down there for the college kids at the time, and me and my brother wanted to do spring break things. You're picking up what I'm putting down? But we still had fun, so we let it slide. Bro, I'm talking about we stayed out there the entire day, all the way to nightfall. So when we got back to the hotel, bro, I'm talking about we literally looked like phones on low battery. We ain't have no gas left in the tank. Our feet was hurting, bro. Phones was dead. We was hungry, bro. Like we just didn't have it in us. If coach told us to keep hustling, I'm telling that nigga no. Wanna play some Uno? No, ma'am. Wanna watch some TV? No, ma'am. Wanna go out on the balcony and watch the... No, ma'am. We did all that the next day. Now, here's where things got a little bit shaky. So a couple hours after we all got back to the hotel, Everybody good, everybody settled in. We all decided to go to sleep because it was pretty late. Now keep in mind that hotel consisted of 2 rooms. The master room, which is what my parents slept in, and the second room, the room that my sister had all to herself, leaving me and my brother on the couch bed. You feel me? Like it was one of those hybrid couches that be in hotels because they was too lazy to add an extra room, so they decided to put a half couch, half bed inside the living area. Like you take the cushions off and you flip the couch out and it's a bed. Good times. Good times. So we pulled the bed out, made it up, tried to go to sleep. And as we are trying to go to sleep, I kid you not, an hour later, we heard a girl screaming to the top of her lungs down the hall. I'm talking about screaming, like girl was like, get off me, get up. I'm talking about all that, bro. And the first thing that came to my mind was that this girl is getting the R word done to her. So I look over to my brother looks at me, and we waste no time. I'm talking about we get up immediately out of our beds and get to stepping. We like, I'm talking about we was finna Jujutsu Kaisen that nigga. Like I'm talking about we was finna beat the dog crap out this nigga, bro. Like I don't play that on both sides, bro. Like nobody should be getting the R word done to them. No man, no woman, no nobody, bro. That's wrong. So we bust through the door and get into the hallway, and we look to the left of us, and it's this dude struggling to carry this girl, and it looked like she was drunk. Bruh turns to us and is like, oh man, sorry guys, my girlfriend's drunk and we just came from a party. I lost my key and I can't get in my room. And he asked us, can he use our balcony to jump over to his balcony so he can get inside his room, because his room was literally right next to ours. And before I made my decision, I actually sat back and pondered if this dude was legit, because I've actually dealt with girls like that. You know, when girls be getting drunk and they be like lightweight and they be doing the most, they be screaming and yelling and making all types of scenes and junk like that. I've dealt with females like that, and in like the middle of the party or the club they fall out. Like bro, it is never a fun time. So the smart thing to do in this situation would be wake up my mom and dad and have them handle this, because it's their hotel room. We weren't that smart. And I'm a cautious person, I don't trust nobody. So I'm sitting back thinking like, is she really drunk? Did he really lose his key? I mean, I can't really bring him through the room anyway, because what if my mom and dad walk out? They gonna think he's an intruder. And if I don't think fast, or he don't think fast, they won't hesitate to pop a cap in this nigga. If that happens, they gonna be smoking on that intruder pack. We don't need that to happen now, do we? Then he sat her down and she rolled over and I saw a piss stain and I'm like, yeah, she drunk. So we decided to let him through, because we was thinking like, what if we was in that situation and bruh looked stressed? Like he looked stressed and tired at the same time. The bags under his eyes had bags, bruh. So my brother escorted the dude quietly over to our balcony, and I waited outside in the hallway to make sure wasted Wendy over here didn't do nothing crazy. And as all this is going on, I am paranoid because I don't think he understood the way the building was set up. Like the balconies in this hotel were designed for people not to jump over them. So for somebody to jump over that gap successfully, you'd have to have a quirk. Like there's no possible way for somebody to make that jump successfully. And that's what made me paranoid, because if this nigga falls off the balcony, my boy, you better hit one of these. I was in the doorway, which connects to the hallway and connects to our room, so I could see everything going on in the hallway and everything going on the balcony. So I got a perfect view of everybody. Bro, when I tell you I was nervous, bro, I was nervous. Like I crossed my fingers and my toes, nigga. Like, and I was shaking too. Like I was shaking like a wet seal in the sea. I saw my brother spotting him to make sure he didn't fall before he actually jumped. He got ready to jump, then he jumped. I guess he did have a quirk. Y'all ever have that one friend that you just don't like and love at the same time? Like y'all are borderline siblings because of the way y'all's friendship operates? Well, that's how my friendship is with this guy. Meet Sean. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't like this nigga, but I love being around him at the same time, mainly because we're both competitive, we're trash talkers, and we borderline have the same mind. I repeat, borderline. Because honestly, in some cases, when he's under pressure, I think this nigga's an idiot. I could give this nigga an apple, he gon' think it's a pear. Now we both are childhood friends, and oddly we go to the same college. Not for long, cause I'm finna drop out, bitch. When we had nothing else to do, one of our after class activities our group loved doing was going to the game room. They had pool tables, cards, chess, TVs, you know, all the basic crap a 21st century game room should have. But when me and Sean went to the game room, we didn't go for all those other things. We played the most competitive game they had in there, ping pong. Ping pong was the most competitive game in there because over a span of a year, we and a few other people pioneered it to be that way. Regular people would play, you know, the basic hit back and forth, maybe a spike if you get lucky, while we'd be over there playing it like it's an anime because of the simple fact that we got so good at the game that we started to beat the people that beat us when we first started with ease because we played every single day. Our masters became our students. I think we developed Ultra Instinct over time because we were too good. I remember this one time we walked into the game room and some dude in the back was like, "Oh snap, it's Mello and Shine. I got next table." FYI, my nickname in college was Mello. We go sit down for a couple of minutes, wait for a table to open. Eventually, 2 slots opens up on 2 different tables. We take them both.
All right, let's go show these recruits how veterans play.
Say no. Oh, things went from 0 to 100 real quick because we were winning games back to back, dropping body after body. I'm talking about people sweating, arms locking up, losers rage quitting. It's looking like a hardcore Call of Duty match in here.
Get off my table, nigga.
Bruh, you're not even that good anyway. You just got lucky.
Cool. And you know what didn't get lucky? My nose. Take a shower.
We won so many games on both of our tables that everybody just started giving up until we played each other. And when I say people watched our match, people watched our match like it's the NBA Finals. This is how it went. It just got real, brother. It just got real.
Finally, some competition.
Competition? Nigga, I'm your worst nightmare.
My worst nightmare? I see your ego is taller than your height.
Oh, really? I see you win at ping pong more than you do keeping a girlfriend, simp nigga.
Okay. All right. Bet $10 I win.
Challenge accepted. Hey, have my money by Friday, or it's gonna be some problems. This is a retelling of my very first animated story time that was uploaded a very, very, very long time ago. It is now privated. Don't ask me to unprivate it because it is hot garbage. Thank you kindly. Back when I was 10 years old, after years of trying to convince my strict African-American parents to let me have a sleepover with my friends, one day they finally gave me the opportunity. So my homies come over, and after eating up all my parents' food, using up their electricity, and drowning our dirty bodies in bathwater, you'd think that we do what any kids growing up in the early 2000s did. You know, build forts out of bed sheets, use our imaginations and play with Beyblades, maybe play a little bit of PS2 all night, which is what I wanted to do. No, when they saw that I was fortunate enough to have a family computer that my parents worked so viciously hard to get, they had other plans. My friends were built different. They knew about things that at the time I wasn't aware of. Every man's introduction into manhood. They knew about the village hidden in the hub. So deeper into the night, we chilling, playing some Mortal Kombat on the PlayStation 2, and I was getting hold every fight because they always wanted to pick the broken characters.
Get over here! Stay over there!
I was locked in, trying to get at least 3 wins minimum, but as for my friends though, they were getting pretty bored. Yes, I told y'all I'd win. Suck my— You didn't win anything. I put my controller down 20 seconds ago and you're just now noticing it? Calm down, you're not that good. Respectfully. Now listen, your parents asleep? Yeah. Alright, so look, we want to show you something on this website we know, but it's a surprise, so don't come into the living room until we give you the signal. And we gotta be quiet while showing you, because if the volume's high and it wakes up your parents, brother, and sister, we might be in a sticky situation.
Stop it. Get some help.
Okay, just tell me when. I'll be playing the story mode until then. So I give them the login to the computer and they go to the living room. 2 minutes later, they give me the green light. So what did y'all want me to see? And thus started my journey through the village hidden in the hub. At that moment, I felt like I had just awakened my Sharingan and ascended into a new level of reality, because before that night, I was always told about the birds and the bees from my dad, but I never thought that they had a website for it. I guess my mind wasn't the only thing getting blown that night. Fast forward 3 years later after just watching it, and I eventually found out how to— Stupid lotion. I think it's jammed. I need to get a new one. That became a routine for me. Wait till nightfall, make sure everybody's occupied or asleep, close my door, and get to bussin'. This only became a routine for me because nobody ever came in my room at night. Except for me. That's why during my routines, whenever I close my door, I never locked it, because what are the odds of somebody walking in on me when I literally haven't had anybody walk in on me at night in years? Like, what do I look like? An idiot that's finna make a rookie mistake? So one day after school, I waited till nightfall, made sure everybody was occupied or asleep. I walked up to my door and I stared at the lock for like 10 seconds, hesitating because something was telling me to lock my door. I walked back over to my bed and opened my laptop that my parents worked so viciously hard to get me. I pulled down my shorts because, you know, I wanted my twins to breathe in my ride to get ready to meet Palmelina. And the second I click over to the video on the site. Devonte, do you know what the— Oh, hey, Ma, you need something? I thought at night nobody— What? Crap. I only had enough time to pull up my pants and I didn't have time to close my laptop. So don't walk over here, Ma, please. Don't walk over here. There's nothing more sickening than seeing the look of disappointment on your mama's face.
Nani?
She grabs me by my ear, takes me to the living room, and puts me in front of my dad. Tell your father what you were doing. I was watching the hub. You was watching what? The hub? Don't repeat it. But you told me to go back to your room. I got something for you. Is it a hug? Y'all know I didn't say that hug part. I would've got my teeth knocked out if I did. However, I did get beat with the fattest leather belt. For the years after that, this situation didn't make me stop my dates with Palmelina. It just taught me what to do to not get caught. So then I BS'd again. Next thing I know, 5 seconds later, so I remember this one day back in 11th grade during football practice, I got in trouble because I was slacking. And you know what happens in football? If one person gets punished, we all get punished. Our coach, This tall, old white country dude looked like he had about 2 on the way. Water looked like it would have broken any minute. We're not gonna use his real name. We're gonna call him Coach Adderson. He had us do this punishment drill where we had to put a 45-pound weight on the ground and push it across the turf from one side of the gym to the other in a specific form just to make it hurt. And he was like, the more you stop and take a break, the longer you'll do it. Do y'all know how hard it was to do this drill if you weren't strong enough? Like, you had to put a 45-pound weight across the turf that was parched. That means that traction on the ground about to be vicious. Luckily for me though, I was strong enough to push it with ease, so that little drill ain't put no fear in me. I'm from that splat. I was headed up to commies every day, putting in that diesel. Only one problem though, I ain't want to, even though I had to. Mans really caught me on menace timing. You would have thought I had the black song. Whole time, I was already in a bad mood, looking for trouble because I had to show up every day, suffering, going to a place where the coach gave me the Oscar the Grouch treatment because of my past mistakes, even though I was one of the strongest and most improved people at the time because I took the initiative to stop overthinking and improve my game. Bruh, I got so better over the years to the point where almost every time I touch the field, I make either a touchdown or a lot of yards. But this nigga still didn't give me as much playtime as the 2 meat riders in front of me that were running backs too. They must have really wanted a gumball, Benson. I used to hear people in the stands all the time get mad at him for taking me out after I made a touchdown or a lot of yards, but this nigga did not care. Because in his peanut brain, because of my past mistakes, he intentionally held my playback time back even when I did good just to not risk it, and held high expectations for me every time I did good consecutively. But the second I mess up,
You're trash, you're dog water, you're actually bad, you're boo-boo, retire, buy a dog, die alone, absolutely butt cheeks.
but if the meat riders mess up, then oh, it's okay. You work real hard today, boys. Why don't you go ahead and get yourself a gumball? Matter of fact, grab 2. Be gentle. I got so sick of trying to get his validation, bruh. Eventually, lost passion for the game, hit my breaking point, and decided to quit. Had me feeling like Gohan in the Cell games, talking about some you feel me? I wanted to wait to quit though, so I could keep them benefits of being in the sport as long as possible until it was time for me to fly off with Shinron. That day, I was the definition of a middle finger to everybody in that room, cause they were a part of the problem too. All morals and selflessness were out the window, bruh. I was in a dark place like Anakin when Obi-Wan dropped that nigga and left him by the lava. I'ma keep it a thou wow with y'all. I did not care if they were suffering down there pushing on plates. I was just ready to bounce to the crib and bust down on some chicken noodle soup. So I did what any person on Black Air Force Energy menace to society timing would probably do. BS. While everybody else was exerting their energy trying to be Lightning McQueen, I was over there chilling on purpose, moving my plate like the snail from Monsters University. I knew Buddy was gonna get mad. That's why I did it. And I did it until he started noticing. And when he did, Buddy started tweaking. Bruh, he was more frustrated than an ostrich doing 60 on a highway. This is exactly what happened after. Okay, everybody stop and go back to work. Devonte, get over here. What are you doing? Your wife? The drill? No, you're not. You're doing it wrong. The correct form is like this. Do it right or I'm benching you the next game, and pick up the pace. Okay. You know somebody numb when they show absolutely no expression whatsoever when they respond to you. So then I BS'd again. Next thing I know, 5 seconds later, coach pushes me to the ground with his full grown man force and did the drill. Mans didn't lower his power level at all. My very first reaction was, I gotta bury this nigga. I have no choice at this point. I had anger issues back then, so the only thing on my mind was self-defense. I felt embarrassed, confused, angry, and shocked all in 2 seconds because I didn't expect this man to do something like that. Like, dang, calm down, Phil. Why not just send me home? It took every bone in my body to keep me from running the fade on this nigga, man. So you know what I did? I beat him up, stomped him out, slapped him with a 10-pound weight, poured milk on his head, stomped him out again, took a dump on the nigga. I ain't do none of that. I'm just playing. Eventually, I realized the consequences that would come after the fade if I saw it through, and instead I thought to myself, you know what? Forget waiting. I'm done. Slid to the locker room, got my stuff, and bounced to the crib. So the next day, I parted ways with the football team. And even though he and a lot of my teammates did me wrong, I shouldn't have tried to get revenge on them after making me suffer, because that only led to more chaos. And I shouldn't have quit when things got hard or unfair. That's not how winning's done. Best believe my parents were pissed that I quit, but I don't regret it. Because honestly, I ain't really want to play football anymore anyway, you know? I just lost the passion. However, God closed one door just to open up another, which gave me a lot more free time to chase my true love. Content creation. If there was anything I learned from this story after it took place in my life, is that making connections is mandatory, which even though I'm an omnivert, I have no problem with, because knowing certain people personally opened up a lot of doors for me to walk out of situations like this. So to start off, I had a couple of family friends I grew up with, but none of them stood out more than the coolest friend I had. We're gonna call him by his nickname I gave him, B-Rye. Y'all ever had that one friend's house growing up that you always went over and it's like a breath of fresh air compared to back at your house? Yeah. Going over B-Rye's house was lit, especially when the squad came over. We'd play video games, we'd watch movies from time to time, we'd trash talk and be loud, we'd binge watch anime a lot, we'd talk about the baddest chicks at school for like 40 seconds and only kept it at 40 seconds to a minute because regular niggas don't sit around and talk about girls for hours. And if you do that, then you're a weirdo. We got other things to worry about, like playing 2K or when's the next chin hair gonna grow out or something. Sometimes we go into the backyard and fight with the swords B-Rye had. Whenever we'd get hungry, we'd all walk to Walmart, which back then was like an adventure because a lot of us didn't have cars. Walking around the neighborhood with friends used to be gas. You know, boys just being boys. When B-Rye's dad was home, he'd always allow us to drink the sodas out the fridge and eat pizza sometimes. And I'ma just throw into the universe that just because his dad allowed us to do all those things doesn't mean I thought his dad was cool. He and I were on mutual terms because whenever I'd come over, our conversations wouldn't even be conversations. You get what I'm conversating? I'd walk into the house, say hello, then got to stepping. All because B-Rye's dad had work in the mornings, so he wouldn't come home until later in the afternoon. And I didn't want to disturb his inner peace sitting on his couch watching his football games with a soda right next to him. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Also, keep in mind that B-Rye's dad was a retired military man. Remember that, because that's key to the story. Overall, B-Rye's house was the go-to for our squad for many years. Fast forward to my sophomore year at college, and by this time, new people came along in the squad. Some people don't talk anymore. Blah, 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 blah. I get it. People come and go. Now, almost every day after all my classes were done, I'd spend a couple hours working on a video, then after, head over to hang with my homies. Priorities first, fun last. You gotta respect that, because your boy was on the come-up grind at the time. On regular days, my currently updated squad had 2 places we'd hang out. On the 2nd floor of the main campus building and the game room, which was also in the main building. One day, me and my boy Sean decides to pick up B-Rye, who was like 25 minutes away from us, cause we haven't seen him in some months. And at first we weren't gonna go get him, but I don't know if you noticed, newsflash, cars don't run off of love and affection. I needs the monies. So I was like, it's whatever, it's B-Rye, so I'll pull some strings. We go pick him up and bring him to the campus and go to the first spot, the game room. And keep in mind, we had our bags down on the floor along with other people's bags right next to ours. And mind you, Sean had 2 bags, an art bag and a school bag. We shooting some pool, playing some ping pong, B-Rye sitting down watching. After some time we get tired, we leave and we make our way to the library. We get there, pull out the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, some time passes and Sean looks at me and is like, yo Mello, that was my nickname back in college. I think I left my 2nd book bag back at the game room, which was across campus. Can you and B-Rye do me a favor and go get it, cause I got class? I'm like, okay, I don't mind. Vamonos, everybody let's go. So we venture back to the game room and here's where things get ugly. When we get to the game room, we notice that everybody's bags are gone except for his, and the bag is still in the same area where he left it. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's his bag. Still in the same spot, nobody stole it, cool. I grab it, we make our way to the library, and dog, I kid you not, as soon as we get to the library, we get back to Sean. He looks in the bag and notices that's not his bag. Oh, crap. The only thing on our minds was to get to stepping. So we rush out the library and make our way as fast as possible to the game room to put the bag back. And before we ever even got the chance to see the game room in our distance, 2 cops pull up. Oh, crap. They get out their cars, beep their radios, and is like, yeah, 1025, we got the suspects in custody.
10-4, bring him in.
Whoa, suspects? What you mean, suspects? What does this look like, Among Us? He starts pulling out some handcuffs.
Don't worry, my brother. We just gotta detain y'all and take you down to the station for some questioning. Now put your hands behind your back.
Now, officer, just listen. This is a misunderstanding. I can explain.
Oh no, this ain't no misunderstanding. We saw the cameras.
Camera? What you mean, cameras? Everybody around us sitting back and watching like it's a freaking football game. And at this point, we both nervous and scared. But me, I'm also pissed because we didn't know what was about to happen. The whole day was chill until this bull crap happened. But all I know is I wanted to scream thug life so bad while getting into that car, which was the wrong mindset to have at the time, because that life ain't nothing to glorify. All it does is bring you some pain and some jail time. For anybody watching that's been in handcuffs before, y'all know that, bruh, it is so uncomfortable. They put us both in 2 separate cars and take us down to the library. But for what? And as soon as we pull up, coincidentally, Sean walks out at the same time they pull up. Talk about divine timing. They tell him that they're detaining him and why, and to get in the car. And of course, with no hesitation, he agrees. But they didn't put handcuffs on this nigga, bro. I was just talking to these two about this memory before recording and animating it, and I'm still mad at the fact that they didn't get him handcuffed. Why? Why were we the only 2 in the cars that were freaking handcuffed? I don't get that. They take us down to the police station. They unhandcuffed us. We walk inside and they tell us to sit down in the chairs on the wall for questioning. Now, keep in mind, there were 3 cops in that room with us. One light-skinned cop that looked at us like we slapped his wife or something. A dark-skinned cop that was sitting at his desk on his computer laughing and joking on us. Look at y'all mud suckers out here committing crimes. Who's the real Dirty Dan? I guess I'm the real Dirty Dan, pinhead. Uh-oh, we got a real comedian over here. He must have not made it, because that's why he's here. And a brown-skinned cop that was dogging us.
You did it. You did it. I know you did it. Stop lying to me. I know y'all stole the boy's bag. You can't fool me.
Stole the boy's bag? We didn't steal a bag. This is Sean's stuff.
We got a call from somebody saying that their bag was stolen from the game room, and we saw 2 of you on the cameras that picked it up and left. And Patrick Starr over here was associated with y'all hours before. So admit it. Y'all stole it.
Bro, we constantly argued to this man that we did not steal this man's bag and that this was a misunderstanding because the bag that we took looked exactly like Sean's second bag. And of course, this old man dogs us for 30 straight minutes while looking through our bags.
Stop lying to me, son. Just admit it. Y'all stole it. I swear I'll throw you in jail for lying to me.
Bruh, the more I heard this man yell at us with his fish breath, the more I felt like we were gonna start smelling like old man throat. I'm sitting in my chair like, look at us, old nigga. Do we look like the type to steal? You literally found Yu-Gi-Oh cards, a bunch of childhood drawings, and a pack of gum in Sean's bag. And this man B-Rye got a Pokemon trainer hat and a messenger bag. And I just got a computer and some cards. Who are we hurting? Stink meaner? The old fart's like,
if somebody don't fess up, all y'all are going to jail, cause I don't like liars.
And the other 2 cops leave into the back after trying to get our IDs. And bro, we were all literally so stressed out because we didn't want to go to jail for a misunderstanding, and the fact that this man literally is dogging us for absolutely no reason because they looked us up and we didn't have any freaking criminal history. It got to the point where me and Sean just accepted our fates and was ready to do the time, and we agreed to make a song when we get out on some T Grizzly type ish. Until my boy B-Rye, the legend, the GOAT, pulled out the Uno wild card on these niggas, bro, and used the realest jutsu known to the anime community. Talk no jutsu. B-Rye explained to the man that his dad was a strict top-level military man and that he raised him on being honest and to never tell a lie, and felt that military kids aren't like that. And then he further explained that he grew up with me and Sean and that we'd never do something like that, and promised this man that we weren't lying, and if we did, then he'd take full responsibility. All as the other 2 cops are walking out. And in my mind, I'm like, bruh, all that pillow talking ain't gonna work on a dude like him, but we don't got that many more weapons in our arsenal, so I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. And bruh, I kid you not, as soon as the other two cops completely leave, this old man's expression went from pissed and determined to sympathetic and surprised after hearing that. We definitely did not know what was about to happen after that, because he tells me and B-Rye to go into the break room and for Sean to wait on the wall. And when I say this conversation happened like the others, this conversation even shocked me. Old man looks at us and he's like, all right, boys, listen. I'm gonna let you go, but only because your friend seemed genuine and his father is a part of the military. I thank your father for his service, and I don't think that military kids would tell lies like that. That's crazy, because I know plenty of military kids that lie. My apologies for coming at you so hard out there. I was just doing my job, you know, just doing my job. So you telling me you did all that rah to keep your cop status in check around your coworkers? Reasonable. However, it's under one condition. You can't step on this campus ever again. If I see you, you getting arrested for trespassing. Understood? Now in my mind, I'm like, B-Rye's dad is the GOAT. No, matter of fact, thank God for putting the thought in our head to go get B-Rye that day. Cause imagine if that would have happened and B-Rye wasn't there to save us with his dad's military cred. We walked out that room and Sean looked at us confused, but I gave him the nigga get your stuff, don't say a word, and let's go look. Instantly, he knew exactly what I meant. He got his stuff, the old man gave us our bags back, and he drove us back to the campus. In the rain. When we got dropped off in the rain, we ran over to my car, freaked out for like 20 minutes, and yeah. After we calmed down, I told the guys I was gonna make a video out of this one day. So here we are. After that day, we didn't mention it to B-Rye's dad, but every time I saw him, I'd tell him thank you without telling him why, and he'd look at me like a crazy person. Also, we never brought B-Rye back to campus, ever. Moral of the story, in some situations, it's about who you know, not what you know. At the end of my painful journey through the village hidden in the streets, I have acquired a Thotagon. And you might be thinking, Devonte, what is a Thotagon? See, this is a very real skill that anybody can acquire, no joke. A Thotagon is a version of a Sharingan that allows you to see red flags from a female or male undercover thought before it happens, primarily acquired through cruel and unusual amounts of pain and heartbreak. The only people that can't get this ability though are active simps, because they never learn. They let Black Chinas dry out their pockets and run them over because of that thing back there and those Kool-Aid jugs. And the most important thing, that kitty. Yeah, sorry, Meliodas and the 7 Deadly Simps. Y'all can't have this opportunity. I remember back before I gained this ability, I was dating this girl that got oil changes a lot. Apparently she had a lot of mileage on the streets I didn't know about. We're gonna call her Peaches. I'm gonna go ahead and put this out into the air. Peaches was bad. I'm talking Shorty's player build was a 99 overall. Crisp brown skin, jet black hair, pretty brown eyes, waist so slim you could slide down it, booty so plump you can have a barbecue on it. If a Coke bottle had a body, it would be her. I thought she was a Street Fighter girl because you know they all be thick. Shawty was a slasher with Hall of Fame limitless range. Probably because she had limitless range in the streets. These hoes ain't loyal. Shorty was on that Ruby Rose type beat because if she had an OnlyFans, I'm 100% sure she would sell 100K in 48 hours. Now at the time, I didn't know 10s came with problems, so I'm in my bag. You dating Peaches? Yeah, bro, I'm in my bag. Like, what's the problem? She for the streets, nigga! She for the I-85! That's not your girlfriend. She's everybody's girlfriend. Bro, I'm sitting there confused and a little bit heated. So my stubborn, gullible self let what they said go through one ear and out the other. Because, you know, I wanted to give her a chance. Maybe see the good in her. Because she was mad, innocent, and from what she showed me, didn't seem like the type to belong to the streets. However, I should have kept my guard up because even Darth Vader was a Jedi at one point. Throughout our relationship, I saw a lot of red flags that I just brushed off like it was nothing, but I'm only gonna go over 4. I remember every time we'd be away from each other and I'd call her and be like, girl, where you at? she'd be like, with a friend. Flag 1. Now understand, females are sneaky, but this one wasn't. So fellas, let me put you on game. If she says I'm with my friend, then no, she's actually with her real friend. But if she says I'm with a friend, that means she's with a dude and she's getting clapped. Say I'm lying. I dare you. After the first flag, our relationship started looking like a roller coaster. Whenever we chill or watch a movie or play a game, I'd always notice she would lay her phone down, face down, and never on its back. And when she'd get a text, she'd answer it away from me, then put it right back face down. Like, bruh, what's going on? Flag 2. Fellas, fair warning. Watch your girl if she keeps her phone flipped down on its face when she's not using it at all. You'll thank me later, because that's basically giving somebody a vibe of you're nervous about what notification will pop up, so you got your phone taking back shots to combat that. Back when people actually used Snapchat religiously and we post each other on our stories, I looked at her snap score, and what threw me off was that she had a snap score of 1,200,000. Bruh, who has time for all that? She must be a celebrity in the streets. Her coochie gotta be the size of the Alaskan bullworm from SpongeBob. On top of that, almost everybody I saw that watched her story were athletes from my school. It's starting to smell like a locker room in here. Flag 3. Bruh, if it's flag 3 and you haven't cut her off yet, you sipping at this point. And let me make this very clear real quick. Any girl that has over a 300K snap score should never be trusted. Somebody always told me that she played with a lot of balls during PE class. All those activities we had during PE, you decided to pick behind the bleachers as your sport. Come on, man. Whenever we weren't chilling together, whenever I'd text her, I'd wait and wait and wait. I done already been through college, found a cure for cancer, and Bobby Schmurda done got out of jail by the time she even texted me back. I thought 2 hours not getting a text back was long. This broad texted me back 15 hours later at night, every night. Flag 4. This bitch smoking crack. Because she'd always hit me with the, sorry for the late reply, I just be busy. Yeah, you be busy bouncing on them dick. I mean, no problem. You're a busy woman, I respect it. Understand this, there's not a single woman on God's green earth that is that busy. If you have time to go watch TV, do your makeup for 3 hours, or talk to your best friend on the phone for 5 hours, then you have time to text me back. And you know what really grinds my gears? That same day, I watched her Snap story, and she was in a car with 3 guys, not just any guys. These were 3 big basketball players at my school. And the craziest part about this is, the guy that was holding the camera showed her kissing another dude. Bro, I'm convinced at this point, she's not even hiding it anymore. And just throwing this out into the air, she was a very small person. So 3 guys, 6'5", and 1 small girl. Yeah, you know how that day ended. Can you say Riley Raid? So I came up with the conclusion that, yeah, the streets were too crowded and the interstate was a little bit packed. So I decided to move this girl's status to the Atlanta airport runway. Now, Peaches wasn't aware of the real nigga that had just been awakened deep down inside of me after seeing that until we met the next day. And this is exactly how it went. So in the words of Kevin Hart, it's about to go down. As a kid, I used to watch Fillmore religiously. You could even say he was my mentor. So if you don't get this reference, you ain't lived yet. And I made sure to recite everything I watched that day before, regardless of anything she'd say. We meet up and she cooked for some reason. Who cares? As soon as I got done eating, I confronted her about the video I saw. And usually a lot of females will try to make up some BS to try to lighten the situation, but no. This is pure evidence, no explanation needed. Bruh, the disbelief in her eyes told me everything I needed to know. The next thing I know, she starts crying and hitting me with the, I'm sorry. It didn't mean anything. It just happened. We were in the moment. Oh, you was in the moment? Shut your lame. You know what? You ain't even worth my time. Over here talking about you was in the moment. Jada Pickett was in the moment, and look what happened. Baby, please, I still got feelings for you. Give me another chance. You're not playing me for a fool, Peaches. I'm not going out like that. Not for you, not anymore. Go drop them balls in your hoop with them basketball players. I'm sure they'd love to dunk on you, just like the others. And one last thing, baby. That chicken was dry. Real dry.
Spin on my dick like a Beyblade, my dick get hit like AK, these boys is back 'cause they bases, tie up your legs while you tripping like, hey, run again.
Nowadays, we've entered the age of online. And you know what that means now? That means we can do anything over the internet from our homes now. Order food, shop, stream regular and adult movies, make money, talk to people. You can literally run an entire business from the comfort of your own home. See, growing up, we didn't have that luxury of being that lazy, all right? Because we had to physically get up and go there to get a game from GameStop. When you get there, you walk in, the atmosphere is just stunning. They got games, toys, in-game purchase cards, systems, apparel, TVs showing the latest games coming out that year, that old throwback section where you can find any game that was popping bottles before your current gen of gaming, a gigantic Halo statue in the middle of the store. They had it all, man. See, going in GameStop as a kid back then felt like home. But see, here's the problem. Going to GameStop on a regular was dang near impossible because my parents would be like,
You got GameStop money? You got McDonald's money?
you got rent money? So when you finally convinced your parents to take you to GameStop, they limited you to one game. One. Two if you get lucky. I always wondered why though. Now looking back on it though, I kinda get it. Your mom already has to spend the monies, right? So don't ask her for more and voluntarily give her a reason to just even get more mad and change her mind and walk out with no game. I don't know, maybe it was just my mom. I mean, unless, you know, they got that 2-for-1 deal. 2 games in the price of 1? Very good for alluring strict moms in their natural habitat. There's always a downside to going to GameStop though. And you probably already know what I'm about to say. Yeah, trade-ins. GameStop is one of the most gangster corporations I've ever seen in my life, son. And they still do this same thing to this day.
To this day. To this day.
If you go in there, buy a new release game for $60, play it for 2 months, let it collect dust for another month, even though the game is still worth $60, go back to GameStop and trade it in for some money thinking you're about to get something close to the original, guess how much you're finna get back? $6. I don't know about some of you rich folks out there, but for me growing up, I repeat, never got an allowance. My parents taught me since birth. You hear that spit on the mic? Since birth. That chores were something you were supposed to do. So when I rode my bike there and didn't get much back from those devils, when I traded in my game, guess who kept the money? Me.
You got McDonald's money?
Yes, I do. You see these red bottoms, ma? Yeah, I'm a boss. You a worker, ma. I don't dance now. I make money moves. You need some? Holla at your boy. Once I got old enough to get a job and save up money for games and consoles instead of relying on my parents, I would just walk or ride my bike down to GameStop because I was privileged enough to have it down the block. It was real risky going by myself though because I lived in a town full of thieves and chaos. So best believe I'd speed ride or walk every single time because those bike rides and walks were getting my calf muscles right. I remember I was 16, the PS4 was about to release that year. It was mind-blowing, like something we've never even seen before that year. Everybody was going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over the PS4. I seen a garbage truck full of PS3s pass my house every single day. On release day, there was always an early release for reserved console purchases at midnight, and the lines would be as long as my dictionary. Luckily, I got to make it to one of those reserved midnight releases because I reserved my PS4 weeks in Game Boy Advanced. So I got to be a part of that line. I was in that line like, Mama, we made it, pouring up for the dead homies. Never would have made it without you. Side note, that song came on every Sunday morning. If you know, you know. Now let me just make something very clear about that midnight I was getting that PS4. Something was very off about GameStop that day. A little foreshadowing, it wasn't a get in, get out operation. Because as the lines got shorter, things got real weirder. Cause when the line eventually made its way in the store, I noticed there were a lot of people, but they're not more important than these people I saw. There was one employee, a woman with a gigantic purse and her toddler, a guy with a bag over by the racks that's been sitting in that same spot for 20 minutes looking back and forth at the cameras, and a guy with baggy pants and a baggy shirt on. Not only did I notice those things specifically, I also noticed for some reason all of the racks with things on it were close to the line leading to the front counter. Does that not seem suspicious? Y'all ever get that feeling where you go somewhere and you get this weird feeling of anxiety like something's about to happen? That's how I'm at this point, but I ain't saying nothing. I ain't 6'9". I just kept it all to myself and just observed. But just when I tried to brush it off my shoulder as a coinky dink, things got weirder. All right, everybody, can I get your attention? Can I get your, hey, stop moving. Stop moving. Listen. I am closing tonight. Boss man left the store in my hands. We only have a few people left. Let's get these PS4s out. I look towards the front counter and it's like everybody's playing red light, green light, because when the employee would turn around and look for another reserve PS4 to give out, everyone I just named stole something. I'm bamboozled. It's like before they came into the store, they were sitting down at a table like, all right, so you're gonna be here, 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 and here. Every time he turns around, everybody takes something. Oh, I guess everybody in this room is tough right now. Blind as a bat to the cameras that's literally recording you. Maybe they didn't care about the recording. I did say I lived in a town full of thieves, so they probably would have just never got caught anyway, because people cover their tracks all the time around here. They stole something every time he turned around for 10 seconds, full 180 degrees. Red light, green light, red light, green light, red light, green light. But just when I thought things couldn't get any weirder, the toddler turns around while slowly putting a toy in his pocket and says to me, "You see something?" Nah, I ain't seen nothing. Ever since I was uploaded to this earth, I ain't never seen nothing like this in my life. Bro, this kid looked like he was 2 and is using full sentences, clear vocabulary. What did this lady put in his milk? Meth? He got me over here sweating bullets. And I'm 3 times his age. As the line got shorter, they kept stealing and stealing and stealing. At this point, it's starting to look like a King Science Exposed video in here. Out the corner of my eye, I see this dude standing outside the window, staring at all this happening. He stares at me, I stare at him back. After 5 seconds of staring, boom, dude put the burners on and dashed off. And I'm thinking in my head like, I'm finna die, I'm really finna die. Oh my gosh, I'm really finna die. I'm about to die. You know what? That was nobody. Maybe he wanted a PS4 and couldn't get in. No big deal. Hakuna Matata, Timon and Pumbaa. That means no worries. But out of nowhere, I felt this certain urge to do the same thing everybody was doing, even though I knew the cameras were right there. Because y'all should know, back then, I was a follower, sheep of the flock. But it's all right, I'm grown now. I'm a shepherd now. I lead the flock. When I move, you move, just like that. I know you want to do it. Yeah, that new Sonic game looks good, don't it? Running, jumping. I know you want to find them 7 Chaos Emeralds, huh? Just take it. Everybody else is doing it. Why not you?
Listen, my Buddha, this is not the way. Do not listen to that booty scratcher. He smokes 6 packs a day.
That wrestling game looks real good right now. Smacking down, hitting it raw. I know you like the jump rope. I like jumping ropes too. You like jumping ropes, do you?
No, my brother. Booty scratcher.
Ropes.
Booty scratcher.
Ropes.
Booty scratcher.
Ropes.
That's the dude from outside.
Everybody, stop. You, stay put. You're fired. You didn't care if they stole it all. You didn't do anything. However, you could have spoke up. But here's your PS4. I'll ring you up. You're free to go. So apparently that was the boss outside the window watching the entire time in a spot nobody could see him, but I spotted him. According to him, he did it to see how his employees would handle this store while he was gone, because for some weeks prior, things would go missing every time he let the employee handle the shop. And turns out this was an issue that happened for a long time, so issue resolved. Moral of the story, don't be a follower. Be a leader, man. Don't do anything anybody else does. Take orders from your own mind. Because think about it, an original is always worth more than the copy. I know I overcame that struggle in my life. Why can't you? So I'm hyping myself up like, okay, I can do this, right? I've been eating Arby's for years. I got this. Now you probably wondering, why is this mocha chocolate dude with the large fry, extra salt, 2 bites away from diabetes, dreadlocks in his head telling a story so personal, so openly? Well, if you take a look at my track record of personal memories I told to the world, then you'd have a clear understanding of how not afraid I am of telling the world my mistakes and flaws. Now, I don't tell my experience with girl stories as much as I used to these days, but I did a poll last week and the streets were hungry. So yeah. Let me feed my hungry demographic real quick. So about 7 months ago, at the start of January 2021, I had a falling out with a girl that I had been technically dating for a while. We're gonna use her nickname I gave her, Cookie. It's actually mind-blowing how we met, but that's for another story. I say technically dating because me and her made it clear that we were just in a talking phase, but that's cap, because we didn't do talking phase stuff. We did relationship stuff. Now, even though we fell out, I can honestly say with the all due respect that she earned from me, I have nothing bad to say about her because she treated me better than any female I had experienced before her. She was patient, she was nurturing, kind, submissive, loyal, a super freak, all the above, except for the reason I had to let her go. But that's a discussion for another day. Yeah, she may have not been shaped like Mewtwo and not 100% eye candy, but I still loved her though, cause she was a rare Pokemon that I was fortunate enough to find. You beta male cuck. Simp. We don't love these hoes. Red pill or get spilled, chump. You not alpha. Back then, we both went to separate colleges in the same city, so whenever I had time, she always wanted me to come see her and spend the night in her dorm. Plus, we were homebodies, so we had a routine. And that was, if we weren't going out to do stuff, I'd pull up, vibe for a couple hours, then around nighttime, she'd cook us both food. Then she'd throw on some easy access clothes, i.e. booty shorts. Then we'd Netflix and chill in her bed with my power pole brushed up against her, butt meat. And this usually resulted in her being down for anything because she was a freak. And I was too. One day during our routine, after getting nasty a little bit, she decided that she wants me to eat that macaroni in her pot for the first time. Which is cool and all, cause she said she'd caress my Dragon Balls and summon Shinron after, but one problem. At the time, I had zero experience swimming through Niagara Falls. Why? Because in my very small number of previous relationships and women experiences, they never cared about me doing it anyway. None of them. They were more in love with just summoning my Keyblade and sending me to the Shadow Realm, which was fine with me cause that's one less task in Wall Maria I gotta worry about. Why? Cause for some reason, at the time when it came down to using my mouth to drink from a girl's river, I just didn't have any interest in doing it anyway. Why? Cause for some reason, something always gave me the chills just looking at it. I know it's mandatory if she's gonna stroke my power pole with her gums, but I just don't know why. Maybe salami sandwiches freak me out. Maybe I wasn't as much of a freak as I thought I was back then. I just don't know why. Maybe I was just in my head too much. Paranoid maybe? When she gave me access to do it and asked me if I did it before, I was nervous because females that already are experienced don't like unexperienced men. Am I right, ladies? So I did what any idiot secretly folding under applied pressure because he doesn't want to mess up an opportunity would do. Put on an act. I told her I ate a couple honey pots in the past and I didn't do it much, which was cap, but I had to make up my mind quick because we were already in the mood. It was getting hot in there, no Nelly. I done had a mouthful of her chicken breast. She was looking like the Pacific Ocean down there. Plus, to her, based off of the stuff we did 2 minutes ago, it looked like I had experience in that field of study before. And I didn't want to disappoint her and look like a biatch, cause mama ain't raised no biatch. But then I had a brain blast and remembered that in moments like these, the only thing you should focus on is pleasuring your partner, i.e. making them explode. That changed my whole mindset. The mission now was to focus on her not turning into the Sahara Desert by making her water dam explode. So I put my pride to the side and got ready to jump off the plane into the ocean. And mind you, this is my first time ever taking a trip down to Dooney Land with my eating hole. And I think I'm not gonna enjoy this. I'm just doing what I gotta do. So I'm hyping myself up like, okay, I can do this, right? I've been eating Arby's for years. I got this. Come on, bruh. This can't be that bad. Like, stop being a little puh and man up and eat that puh. Her easy access shorts come off. I took in a deep breath and started the kisses from the thighs and made my way down to the gulag. So, how did I do? Rated on a scale of 1 to 10? 15,000. That was literally her answer. Dead serious. Bruh, I was feeling like the man when I got through. I wasn't stunned what nobody was saying when I got through. I even had her staring when I got through. I really felt bad for the next guy who looked at me funny because I felt like I was invincible. You sure about that? After growing some nuts and releasing the possible paranoia out of my mind that shouldn't have been there in the first place, in the first 20 seconds of me being in the gulag, it didn't turn out as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, it tasted like skin, duh, but I was focused on the mission, making her C4 explode, which was hard at first, but when I found her spot, it was game over. I turned it into a sport at that point, which was good for me because I'm already competitive at heart. Plus, I had a lot of stamina, so you already know how that went, you know what I'm saying? You can already hear all the poor souls that haven't watched the full video and only clips of this video on different platforms thinking I'm actually talking about video games like,
What is he talking about? What tastes like skin in Warzone? I'm so confuzzled.
oh, brother. Right after, she kept her promise, told me to lay back, extended my dual disc, activated her Millennium Puzzle, and did what it do, sent me to the Shadow Realm. You know what really grinds my gears about parents when you still live in their house? They put the word my before everything. My room, my desk, my furniture, my God, we get it. I understand though, y'all pay the bills, so y'all have every right to say that. But it becomes a little too annoying when they start doing too much. And ain't nobody more professional than my dad at doing such thing. My dad was about that action. I remember when I'd be doing some classified research on Alexis, Texas, my dad would call me downstairs and interrupt me. I'm pissed. Not because he called me down, but for the fact that I've been 1v1ing my schmeat for 15 minutes and now I gotta postpone the match. You know how hard it is to get my meat hype again to fight after stopping? I'm ready to box this nigga. I go downstairs, my dad got that mean look. I'm talking about mean look. Hey, y'all clean my kitchen up. It's filthy. And that means make sure the dishes are done, wipe off my counters, sweep my entire floor, make sure every germ, atom, ion, dust particle is off that floor. No, y'all eat, then leave without cleaning the kitchen every day. It's finna be a whole lot of changing in here. Hold up, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Listen here, Major Payne. If I wanted a lecture, I would have went to history class. You tell us this every day like we don't know it already. If you're so worried about your kitchen, how about you get in there and do it yourself, nigga?
Damn, he really about to rock my shit.
Let me tell y'all something. Don't ever disrespect y'all parents like that when they provide you with food, shelter, and a form of love. Don't blame me though. I'm just showing y'all an illustration of what I was thinking back then. Yeah, man. My parents got on my ass nerve, but I needed it, man. It's just tough love because my parents cared, man. And in a sense, overprotective. That's probably what sparked them to doing too much when it came to my social life. Some of y'all probably got them parents that just let y'all bring any and everybody in their house. Nah, homie. My parents was gangsters. Again, they was about that action. Especially when I asked them to go spend the night at a friend's house. I'm talking about as soon as I asked them to go over to somebody's house, these niggas turned into FBI agents. I need to meet their parents, social security, home address, birth certificate, thumbprint, give me it all. I'm not trying to point out the obvious here, but ain't nobody got time for that. The guy I asked about, he was a family friend, but my parents still said no from time to time when he wasn't present. So you know what I did instead of asking why my homie wasn't present? I left, I grabbed my friend Ronnie, brought him to the house, and asked him why he was present. You can't finesse a finesser, because knowing my parents when I did this, my chances of them saying yes went from 0 to 100 real quick. I was looking at them like, say no, nigga. Say no. I dare you. I double dare you. speak. And I got my answer. I don't gotta say it, you know what it was. We skadip, meet up with our other homie, we're gonna call him Dan. And we go to his house instead. When we get to the crib, bro, I cannot make this up. It smelled like straight doodle brown water. Me and Ronnie been over to his house many times before, but it never smelled like this. Like, how do you got a spotless car, but your house smell like McBounce that ass? In my mind, I'm full of regret because he's sitting over there smiling because we came while I'm over here struggling to breathe. Dog, your best friend need to be Mr. Clean in a magic eraser because it's smelling real musty in here, nigga. Turns out his smell came from his dogs. Fast forward to nightfall, we're all chilling and it's getting pretty late. Now, if you ain't learned nothing from this video, learn this. Nothing good goes on after 12 a.m. I look over to Dan. Dan stands up, looks at the time and says, "Oh, snap. It's that time. It's that time. Somebody finna get got tonight." See, when somebody says get got, I'm thinking death. But that wasn't the case. See, back then when you did sleepovers for guys, there was one rule everybody had to follow. First person to go to sleep gets a punishment. You see, this rule put a fear in my heart, especially because I'm a very sleepy person and Dan was a very playful person. Those type of friends are dangerous in situations like these. But however, mama ain't raised no bitch, and I wasn't finna be the first one to get got. Only the strong survive. 2 hours goes by, then 5 hours goes by. Next thing I know, it's the morning. And see, what I didn't know about Ronnie and Dan were that they were about that action because it was 6 a.m. in the morning and they didn't lose a single ounce of energy. Meanwhile, I'm over here in the corner about to pass out. The bags under my eyes have bags. I didn't want to fall asleep, but bro, as soon as that clock hit 6:30, nigga, I folded like paper. Blacked out. I woke up 5 hours later in this man's bed, stood up and saw Ronnie asleep on the floor, and Dan had left his room, and luckily, your boy was okay. No scratches, no bruises, nothing. Now in my mind, I'm thinking, wow, this is a first. They let me off this time. I get out the bed, I noticed my socks were off my feet, and at first, I brushed it off because it's no problem, no big deal. Because I move a lot in my sleep, so I'm thinking like, okay, maybe I just moved so much that they fell off while I was asleep. I grabbed the sock, and as I'm putting my foot into the sock, I felt something sticky inside my sock, and it was not glue. The fear that went through my body. I look into the sock and saw something that made me want smoke on sight. Bro, this man done left a dookie in my sock, bro. You need a diaper, bro. You need some tissue, bro. It's $5 at the store, bro. You done gone too far. Too far, bro. This man done left a dookie in my sock. You need to go see a doctor. Now. Bro, this man literally took the time to drop his pants, stand over my sock, and drop Santa's gifts before Christmas. If it wasn't for the fact that Ronnie was there, I would have got my airsoft gun, put a beam on it, and turned into Rudolph the Red Dot Reindeer. Don't hate the player, hate the game. You signed up for it as soon as you agreed. When I get pissed off, I get that crackhead strength. I kid you not. I go to Dan's living room, see him, and he has the audacity to tell me, "You like your punishment? You had it cut." Oh! Ah! 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 Jesus Christ! Oh! Ah! Wait! Ow! Ow! You can hear his little sisters in the back like, "Oh, snap! Oh, snap! Somebody got! Somebody got! The light! The light! I can see it!" Yeah, it was actually me. But hey, somebody had to catch that fade for me. So, like I've made clear in previous videos, my college days were some of the littest times of my life. Even though I was only there for 2 years, I had a lot of fun and made a lot of memories. But wherever there's memories made, somewhere in that mix are embarrassing times. One of those times being when I went to my first college party. So, let me take y'all back to my freshman year of college. I remember it was my first day of college and my mom and dad were helping me move into my dorm room where I met my first roommate. Let's not use his real name. We're going to call him Horrendous. I made a video on the experience with him a long time ago. You should go check that out. And I remember scoping the area just to see what I was working with. And I tell you what, I was very pleased because there were so many fine women, bro. Like in the back of my mind, I was thinking like, bro, I'm finna go to every party, bag so many shorties. I'm finna be living my best life. I'm finna go crazy. Cause you know when kids leave their parents and go to college, they wild out and lose their freaking minds. Which is exactly what me and Horrendous did. So as soon as both of our parents left and said goodbye to us, we got settled into that dorm room, we got to know each other, and made our intentions of this new college life very clear. Wild out and lose our freaking minds. Cause why? You're not in your parents' grasp anymore. Mommy and daddy don't have any say in what you do anymore. Now, if you've been on this channel for a long time, you know well that growing up, I was a good kid with bad intentions. So truth be told, even in college, I didn't really wild out to the fullest extent like Horrendous did. But in my freshman year, I decided to change that and take risks. And let me tell you, the results were better than I expected because even through hard times back then, those days were the latest times of my life and some of the best memories made. So me and Horrendous decided that our first plan of action was for later that night to go to the club. So as soon as nightfall came, I rushed because I was mad excited. Like we both got fresh. We made our way down to the shuttle, which was the bus that took everybody to the parties if they didn't have a ride. And we saw this crowd waiting for the bus. We asked them like, yo, is this the right place? And we got confirmation, so we good. Now, mind you, this was our first day in college. We don't know nobody. Nobody knows us. Our names don't hold no weight. So we can't be out here walking like we got high notoriety around campus. But we did actually do one thing that actually made us look good and have a good first impression, which is what you should always do when meeting new people. So the bus comes, we all get in and the seats start filling up. Me and Horrendous walk down the middle trying to find a seat and everything's going good so far. Until things got even better when we ran into this one girl that I know to this day. We're gonna call her Maddie. I made a video on her. She belongs to the multiverse. Go check that out. And just like in the video I made about me and her story, this was the first time we met because this is freshman year. And bruh, she was so thick. I'm talking about so thick. Like out of all the snacks I ran into that day, she was the dinner, like a 5-star full course meal. Shorty looked finger licking good. And bruh, when we saw her seat open, Horrendous ultra instinct over to her seat so fast and sat down, leaving me to have to stand up because all the seats were full. Best believe on the inside, I was pissed. So we started chopping it up with Maddie, making a little small talk, and eventually we both got her number, which was kind of odd to me at first, but I eventually brushed it off because maybe she for the streets. It's for me to know and you to find out. Soon as we get to the club, Maddie takes off to God knows where. Me and Horrendous sat in a line for like 20 minutes and eventually we made it into the club. Soon as we get into the club, I'm even more excited because it looked exactly how I thought a club would look like. It looked kind of like a music video with all the lights and bad shorties everywhere and a bunch of dudes and drip everywhere and music playing and magic pixie stick gas in the air and alcohol being passed and all that jazz going on. So we looked around for seats because the party really hasn't started yet. We got there pretty early and eventually Horrendous takes off and does his own thing, like, great, by myself. But it's cool, stay calm. However, something felt kinda off, but I really couldn't put my finger on why I started getting this weird anxiety out of nowhere, so I just brushed it off for the time being. Now here's the part of the story that really pissed me off, like I kid you not. I waited 2 hours for something to happen. Nothing fun happened. Even when the party started gaining some momentum, like I thought at first when the party started gaining some momentum and people started dancing that everyone was gonna be on like some 2007 Stump the Yard type energy. That didn't happen. On top of that, I was waiting for the women to start twerking, knees hurting, legs jerking. That barely happened. Guys were posted up on the wall trying to look cool and too cool to dance. Girls were twerking on other girls like, come on shorty, like you got a perfectly good ding-a-ling to twerk on right here, you know what I'm saying? Get off that cat and come get this hot dog, shawty. The music was trash. Everybody was trying to act cool so they wouldn't dance. I couldn't go back to campus because the bus didn't come until the end of the party. Maddie was throwing it back on some dude when it should have been me in his place. Where's horrendous? I was pissed. Until the trap music started playing. Here's some live footage from back then. The DJ started playing Boosie's Set It Off, and it really set things off. Like, it's like everybody woke up from their sleep and started making their way down to the middle. It actually started vibing and having fun. So I'm like, bet, let me slide in there too. I get to the middle of the crowd, like the dead center, and started dancing surrounded by hella people that were dancing harder than me. I was trying to not fall on my face because like everybody was bumping into each other with the force of a freaking linebacker. Like, I almost got pushed out of the crowd a couple times. And as I'm dancing, I started to get a little sweaty. Normal, right? However, like I said before, I noticed something was very off about that night because I got this weird burst of anxiety out of nowhere before the party started, and I really couldn't put my finger on why. Until I lifted my arms because your boy was musty. So I get to panicking like I'm mad embarrassed. I pull my arms down so quick and continued to dance away to the back of the crowd with my arms by my side so nobody would freaking die from smelling me. But what made it more embarrassing was the fact that I think everybody already knew because the crowd that once surrounded me started social distancing away from me, like slowly, like I had the Rona or something. And I'm thinking to myself like, bro, what the frick? How the heck did I forget my deodorant, bruh? But then I thought back to before all of this and remembered I rushed to get here. Like, I brushed my teeth, took a shower, put on the drip, put on cologne, but how did I forget my freaking deodorant? Like, you musty piece of crap. How dare you violate these good people's nostrils with your arms smelling like Jabba the Hutt's butt crack? Bro, I was getting so sweaty that my armpits was smelling more like a regret. I make it to the back of the crowd and slide my way out of there looking real confident, playing it cordial like nothing's happened. For the people outside the crowd watching, and I make my way to a booth with barely anybody in it because you don't want to go to a booth with nobody in it, then they're definitely gonna know what's up. So I go to a corner, pulled out my phone, and I ain't say nothing to nobody. An hour later, I heard that bus pull up and I got to stepping. I was the first one on that bus. Like, y'all would have thought I was the Flash the way I was moving. I go back to my dorm and I was thinking to myself, like, I can never show my face at a party again. Yep, it's over. Yep. I went to another party the next day. Y'all ever heard of a pick-me person? It's basically like a person who begs for the attention, acceptance, or approval of somebody. Now, I don't know about you, but I found out real quick how annoying this type of person can be a good minute ago. I remember this one day back in sophomore year of college. I was leaving the gym on my hot boy summer type beat, you know what I'm saying? Showing off my bulging muscles that I would have had if, you know, I just worked a little harder. I get back to my dorm room and my friend Jerry, that was in my circle, but not completely in my circle, he hits me up and is like, yo, me and some other homies finna be chilling at Facilities 2 tonight. If you ain't got nothing else to do, slide, fam. And of course I accept because one, he's one of the homies I actually enjoy being around. And two, every night back then you would usually find me at certain spots on campus anyway, doing God knows what, living that campus life. One night you might find me in the main building, second floor with my core group, high off of life. Another night you might find me in one of my friends' dorms, high off of life, chilling, doing God knows what. Then another night you might find me outside at events or in the game room with my core group, high off of life, doing God knows what. I was all over the place making memories, bruh. I loved every second of it too. My campus life was literally a movie. Later that night, I pull up to Facilities 2, which was one of the high-class co-ed dorm buildings on campus. Now, this place was like paradise compared to the dorms I stayed at, which was basically the trap, literally. Both of the dorms I stayed in my first 2 years, nicknames were the trap. I learned the hard way why it was given that name the minute I got to college. Now, usually when I'd hang out with Jerry in Facilities 2, he'd always have like 2 other friends with him that I really didn't care if they were there or not. But this time it was different because I looked through the glass and I saw that he brought a girl with him, and not just any girl. a girl that I personally knew and had some conversations with before, but could tell off the dribble by the way she acted that she was fighting some very heavy internal demons, I might say. I mean, it wasn't nothing I couldn't handle. Like, I didn't have no problem with her yet. We're gonna call her Gwen. I get inside and knew off the dribble there was a disturbance in the force. Something was very off about this picture because the way she reacted to everything was not normal, my guy. She was viciously trying to seek the attention of every guy walking through that room. And I do mean every guy walking through that room, thus becoming a pick-me girl. Soon as she see me, she Millie rock over my way and get all up in my personal space, bro. Like, I ain't get no room to breathe. And she greeted me, but like in a very psychotic way. Like, shorty was acting strange, very much lunatic behavior. Like, there was something real loony about this tune. Whole time in my head, I'm thinking like, bruh, this girl gotta be off a perk. And I was about to blow. But, however, I'm a person that chooses peace over chaos unless provoked, so I decided to back her up out of my personal space, bottle up my irritation, keep calm, and be nice to her, and just tried to have a regular conversation. Cause it's clear internally she was going through it, you know? Which was a bad idea because that gave her exactly what she wanted. This created a misconception in her mind about my motives. See, ain't nothing wrong with being nice to somebody and just having a regular conversation with them. But trying to have a regular conversation with a borderline psychopath that clearly has different intentions with you is pretty much mental suicide. That's like trying to have a regular conversation with Toga from My Hero. It ain't gonna end well, especially if she likes you. So after putting me through mental gymnastics, she started hitting me with all these random questions, and I ain't even gonna drag this out. I'm gonna keep it short. Let me tell y'all how weird this conversation got. She was asking me how she could get basketball players to like her and that she's used to guys coming up to her first. It definitely don't look like it. And that it hasn't been happening lately, so she's trying to shoot her shot first this time, but she doesn't know if they find her attractive. So I say to her, look, if you're trying to take the first approach route, then you won't know until you shoot your shot and figure out yourself. You can't expect a hit if you don't swing. I don't know about anybody else, but if I find somebody attractive, I'ma show it through my actions or just tell them. And as soon as I said that, she looked at me so viciously and was like, well, Mello, that was my nickname back in college, do you find me attractive?
Nani?
Now, I don't know about my boy Jerry, but in my eyes, Gwen was a 55 overall Hall of Fame plate cleaner with no badges. Her and Big Mom from One Piece had a little something in common, and I'll be the first person to tell you I was not attracted to shorty in any type of way. Never will be. I came, I saw, I did not want to conquer. What I really wanted to say, I'm glad I didn't, because I had a very fly mouth back then, and still do. I'm working on it, but I could switch from nice to menace to society timing and be cutthroat whenever I felt like it. But however, I decided to just choose the calm, honestly nice, not brutally honest, but calm, honestly nice route, because I remember what my dad told my mom once. On the other side of what you say is another human being. So I just let her off with a light, you not ugly, but I just don't find you attractive. Shorty gets angered, big fella. Like, what you getting mad for? Plenty of females have told me the exact same thing. I ain't obligated to like you. From the way you was acting, I could tell you were scared of rejection already, but I ain't realized it was this bad. Every emotion after that towards me from her was very petty and malicious. She was doing everything in her power to make me feel like straight dog water, but everything she threw at me, I countered with no reaction. Like, she was trying, but whole time I was just like,
Okay.
So I walk off to one of the couches and tried my best to ignore her and just kick it with the homies because she was getting on my last nerve. 3 minutes later, this girl I knew that was always in the game room, we're gonna rename her Drea, walks in the lobby looking stressed, but not stressed. She immediately looks in my direction, walks over to me, pulls me to the side, says to me in the most stressed but not stressed, seductive looking face, she needs to talk to me about a problem in private over by the stairway, which is the same place that leads to the dorm room she lived in. So at first I'm thinking like, a problem? Oh, rad. I might be able to fix it. Then I remembered, oh, never mind. Ain't nothing finna happen. She actually does look stressed out about something. But that don't mean I can't be the reliever, you know what I'm saying? She grabs my hand and we walk over to the stairway. And as soon as we get to the door, wait!
Check it out.
Gwen was going ham trying to get my attention. She would not stop running her mouth. Her energy was through the roof. Like, let me be great, woman. She done already made up in her mind what she thought was about to happen between me and Drea, and she might have been right. But I don't even know the end of this story yet either. She was messing up my possible happy ending, therapy session. I was trying to give her signals like, yo, if you don't get you cock like me, leave with that. It got so chaotic to the point where I could just see the disgust in Drea's eyes. Like, we was looking at each other like, this girl need more than help. Off the rip, Drea was not having it and was like, you know what, Mello? Go on ahead. It must be very important. We'll talk later. I'll see you in the game room. She gives me the hug and leaves the room. What was so important that you stopped me for?
Well, do you find me attractive at all?
Are you kidding me? I used to get fast food a lot. I'm talking 10-piece nugget meal, large Sprite with no ice, barbecue sauce on the side every day. But thanks to my high metabolism, I didn't have to worry about looking like Rod Wave. So it got to the point where I did it for sport. And my sister would always make me very aware of that.
Eat, eat, eat. That's all you do. You always eating, and it ain't even healthy food. You ever heard of a salad? Vegetables? Home-cooked meal?
But I didn't care, because fast food was like the corn to my cob. However, when I started working at fast food joints, all that changed. There's always at least one bad egg in the mix somewhere. This is why I don't trust fast food. You gotta think about it like this. As soon as you pull up, your health is in their hands. They can do anything they feel like, and God help your soul if they have a boss that doesn't care. The place I used to work at, we're gonna call it Rax D's. And during my time there, I must say, it was the worst but best times of my childhood. It was my first job I ever had. I went in a boy, left out a man 2.5 years later. And just like I said before, not all places are the ghetto, but still has at least one bad egg. This one had a lot of bad eggs. However, I'ma only speak on one. It was this kid, we're gonna name him Cam. Cam was evil. He was a Hall of Fame troublemaker because mainly he didn't have any guidance. He grew up without a father figure, and he lived a fast life and hung around the wrong crowds. And he wanted to be a gangbanger so bad and would do anything at any cost to have that status, especially with his huge ego and arrogance. This boy was dangerous. You could not save him. He most definitely was a product of his environment. But somehow, down the line, I became friends with this dude, mainly because I was immature back then. And I witnessed Cam do a lot of ignorant and crazy things, me included in a lot of those situations. However, I'm gonna save that video for another day. But I'm gonna speak on one of those situations right now. One day, me and Cam are in the back whipping up chicken and sandwiches, getting out orders, talking trash, goofing around, you know, and our bosses were out and about, and we were the only ones in the back of the kitchen. And believe it or not, we were the best in the kitchen. One of our loyal customers walks in and orders his usual a grilled chicken sandwich with nothing on it. Now, me as an employee, I value and respect loyal customers because I always know what they want. They make my job easier. Get in, get out. Cam, on the other hand, did not value or respect anybody, and that led him to do evil things for fun. Like, can you imagine trusting this nigga with your food supply on trips? This is the type of nigga that when you're in the desert and you're hungry, he throws you a dry Popeyes biscuit with no sauce or water. Like, bruh, you're gonna die. He fixes the sandwich, he puts it on the plate, gives it to the cashier, they give it to the customer, he sits down and eats. Not even 30 seconds later, the customer walks back up and tells the cashier his chicken was lukewarm. Nobody wants lukewarm food at fast food. Hot and ready only. The cashier tells him to fix another one. He gets pissed. Workers hate when they have to remake food. And I understand because I used to do it all the time, but I learned to keep that from happening. Just make sure the food's fresh the first time it goes out. Now remember, Cam did evil things for fun, so this only fueled the fire even more. So Cam did something I only thought they did in movies, and I can't make this up. I witnessed this with my own eyes, man. So you've chosen death, old man. All right, bet. You like grilled chickens? Then I'll bet you love this too. Taste my spit. He did this so fast that before I could do anything about it, he bagged it up, gave it to the cashier, then the customer, he leaves. After that day, I never saw that customer again. And we all know why. Did I say anything to my boss? No, because I wasn't no snitch back then. Should I have said something? Yes. Do I still go to fast food restaurants after a 3-year hiatus after experiencing this, even though I still don't trust them? Yes.